Now, I want to get into two questions here. Um, it goes back, the second question will go back to the recruitment process. But let's take a look at the first question, which is an actual real life scenario that hasn't happened to anybody that I have coached, but I know of the story from the situation from a third party. And the recruiter has submitted a CV. The the client has come back after doing their due diligence because they know somebody who worked at the company. They asked about that person, and they come back and say to the recruiter, is the person autistic? Without even mentioning that they already know that the person is autistic. And the recruiter says, yes, they are. And he says, okay, we don't want that person. And that goes back to the whole scenario of whether or not the recruitment process is safe. I mean, first off, if a person is leaving one employer and someone has disrespected and taken away that person's right to choose to disclose or not to disclose, they've taken that power away from them by indicating that this former co-worker is autistic. And then it also paints the picture of that the current client is not creating a safe environment at all and telling the recruiter take them off the list. So from that scenario, from your experience and from what we've talked about so far, what's in that kind of situation, what is the ideal situation? How could it have been handled differently?
A, I can't believe this happened, what you're saying. B, never came across it in my career to date, never. Um, so to give an answer based on experience is impossible because I've never encountered such.
Fair enough. But from your professional
But from
standpoint,
my, exactly, if I was to think it through, I mean, number one, the instinct I have, the first instinct I have is that that should have never been disclosed because that is a condition that is at the discretion of the employee himself or herself, whether to disclose it or not. Okay, so if someone, like you said, takes away that choice, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not even in line with the law. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not an employment lawyer, so I can't make that comment, but it doesn't sound right to me. So how could that situation be better? Again, if someone provides a reference about another person, is to understand the detail into and the scope of the disclosure that reference would go into. So this comes to professional preparation, which is why you will find, for example, within a lot of firms that usually the standard references are standard, job title, dates, duties and responsibilities, and that's it, and that's fine because it's standard. A person's previous performance in a job is not an indicator of how they will perform in the next one. This is something that we really need to get on board with, because there are a lot of factors that come to play in performance within a company. Okay. So that's what I would think of. I mean, is to understand the scope of the reference and then not make certain comments. And then for the client, they said, I don't want them. Who said to the recruiter, I don't want them because they're autistic. I mean, my first question would be why. Well, that's the first thing I would ask, because I would be generally be curious to understand why is it, and have you assessed to what level the autism exists? I mean, there are different levels, different types. I mean, I am to some extent within that boat as well, to some extent. So then it depends. Again, create a discussion, but my basic instinct, as I said, is that shouldn't have happened, but it happened. So how do we deal with it? Create a discussion. If you find yourself in that situation, ask why. Okay, to what extent this would affect, why are you apprehensive? I don't know if I've answered it
no,
or
you have,
not.
you have. I mean,
Is this is the instinct answer I'm giving you. Like I said,
Yeah.
I never came across this situation, so I don't have a practical experience to give. This is me thinking my way through it
No,
on the spot.
I totally understand that, Fran, and I respect that. It's just I'm giving you a real world
Well, yeah,
experience,
yeah.
of a real scenario that has happened. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you as a guest, is to get that professional perspective on how things should have been done, how things can be different, and what's the reality of the situation in the job market when it comes to dealing with these kind of situations.
Yeah.
And it's a tough one. And but it's a question and it's a scenario that needs to be brought up and it needs to be asked
Yeah.
to challenge the status quo.
And to educate as well. Yes, yes, definitely.
Absolutely.